All right, everybody. Good morning. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are doing well today. And it's just a couple days away now. We are 2 days away from conference championships, and hopefully the weekend ends with the Seahawks headed to the Super Bowl. But before we get there, we got plenty more stuff to talk about. We're still talking a little bit about this Niners game because obviously what happened in the past can inform what's going to happen in the future. We're doing Pass Rush Friday, and I think that this video is going to be pretty important to kind of highlight going into this upcoming game because there's a pretty clear trend going on with this Seahawks team and their pass rush. And I think that we need to kind of establish the reality of the situation when it comes to these guys getting after the quarterback and be aware of the fact that it's not everything that it sometimes seems to be. But first, quick break. All right, guys, before we go any further into this video, let's take a minute so I can tell you about my friends over at Sleeper. If you're not using Sleeper this year for daily fantasy, then you are missing out. Download the app and get ready to have more fun with sports this year. Make all kinds of picks on over-unders. Get on over there. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever your sports fancy is. I've got some picks going for this week, the conference championship games. I got the over on Cooper Kupp, 30.5 receiving yards. I got Ken Walker scoring an anytime touchdown. I got Mevis over on the Rams kicking at least 2 field goals. And I got Drake May with the under on 227 passing yards. So get on over to Sleeper. Use promo code SBN, that is SBN, to get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100 and go have more fun with sports this year. All right, so this game that we played against the 49ers, one of the narratives that came out of the game after it was over, and I especially saw this from Niners fans that were kind of trying to pump up Brock Purdy a little bit, but I saw it from other people as well. Oh man, Seattle was getting pass rush all day on Purdy. They were getting all kinds of pressure on him. It was so amazing. They were hitting him. They were getting to him. It was impossible for Purdy to do anything back there because the pass rush was so good. And Pro Football Focus kind of echoed that sentiment. But here's the thing, guys. There's a difference between real pressure and soft pressure. And to my eye, the Seahawks got a lot of soft pressure against the 49ers. And we saw that reflected in Pro Football Focus when they gave us, I think it was 31 pressures in that game. But I didn't feel like we were dominating the Niners up front at all. I actually felt like Purdy on many of his dropbacks had all day. And these numbers that we're going to look at here definitely speak to that. So, Pro Football Reference, which is much harder to impress than Pro Football Focus, what do they have? Defensive line, we got 3 pressures total, 2 for Leonard Williams, 1 for Byron Murphy. So that's good. I mean, 3 pressures from your defensive line is fine. It's not great or anything. You can see that we had done better in many games this year, but we'd actually done worse in 6 straight games before that one. 1 or 0 or 2 pressures per game in the last 6. So it is actually a step in the right direction. It's certainly not amazing, but it works. Okay, sure. Um, that's it for the defensive line. Nothing from the linebackers. And the only edge rusher that got pressure in this game, according to Pro Football Reference, was DeMarcus Lawrence. 4, by the way. So he actually did very well. He had the strip sack. He had other pressures as well. But that's it. Nothing from Hall, nothing from Mafe, nothing from Nwosu. And all these guys, they got pressures on Pro Football Focus. And this is kind of what I'm talking about here, right? We have a team that is getting good pressure right now, but mostly it's the soft pressure where you're having limited effect on the play. And quite often it takes so long to get pressure that the quarterback still has the opportunity to make the throw that he wants to make. And just to go ahead and get through the rest of this, nothing from the cornerbacks and nothing from the safeties. So 7 total pressures. That is one of the worst outings the Seahawks have had in their last, this whole season. Although it is worth noting, it is basically in line with what they were doing in the last 6 games of the regular season, 9, 9, 5, 5, 5, 8. So 7 is really not all that radically different. In fact, it's pretty much exactly what you would expect. And this is kind of the thing with this Seahawks defense right now. They are struggling to get impactful pressure on opposing quarterbacks. You look at that Niners game, the reason why we got so much pressure, Brock Purdy was holding onto the ball forever and ever and ever and scrambling around in the backfield a bunch. And eventually you get to him. But by the time you get to him, he's had the opportunity to survey the field and find at least something that he can try to do. Now, a lot of the time, the pass was not productive because our defense is that good on the back end. But in that Niners game in particular, they just were not getting home, really, not getting home in a meaningful way. The meaningful pressures we had were mostly the couple of sacks that we had, the Big Cat sack and the D-Law sack. But a lot of the other pressures we had were like, oh, Boye Mafe gets close to Brock Purdy and forces him to throw it, but Purdy's already been holding onto the ball for 5 seconds, and he's already found where he's going with the ball, so he just has to set and throw. And again, for that game, it worked fine because the Niners were not able to productively move the ball because they don't match up well with our back end at all. They don't have the receivers, they don't have the tight ends. They were out of gas, blah blah blah, but there isn't a lot of just I'm going to beat my man off the snap and I'm going to go get to this quarterback right now. And in that Niners game where the team really did not blitz, like there was very little blitzing going on in that game, and we were content to just try to win with our front four, you really notice that these guys struggle to get home, especially the edge rushers. Right now, we have one edge rusher that is winning as a pass rusher, and it's the guy who we actually thought was probably going to be the least effective of our edge rushers this year, DeMarcus Lawrence, because he was brought in to be a great run stopper. The fact that he's reinvigorated as a pass rusher is, to me, kind of a surprise. And to a lot of people, I think it's a surprise as well. Hall and Mafe and Nwosu are not winning consistently right now. And this is why we talk about Maxx Crosby, because the only way you're going to fix this is to go after a Maxx Crosby, and you might have to give up a ton of stuff to get him. But this is why we talk about that. How different is that game? And I know that sounds like a weird thing to say because our defense played incredibly good against the Niners. But what does that game look like if we have an edge rusher that can just roll out of bed and hit money in the bank moves and disrupt the play just straight up? And this team has shown they can have success on the blitz. I do wonder if when the going gets tough, this Seahawks team is going to ramp up the blitzing. I do wonder if maybe they're planning on sending more Drake Thomas, sending more Nicky Manwari, maybe sending more Ernest Jones, Devin Witherspoon, trying to find different ways to discover pressure, because I don't know how well this is going to get it done against a team like the Rams or even the Patriots in the Super Bowl, because the thing is, yes, Stafford isn't going to be able to scramble around like Purdy. Drake May isn't going to scramble around like Purdy, but those guys are also going to get the ball out of their hands faster. Those guys are going to see what's happening a little bit better. And overall, I do think that there is going to be a noticeable difference if you cannot get pressure on those guys. Purdy could not punish us, in part because he's not as good as those quarterbacks, also because he doesn't really have as much to work with his receivers. So, yeah, this is kind of what I'm talking about. We got a lot of soft pressure on Purdy, pressure that took a long time, pressure that didn't really disrupt him that much. It was still a great game defensively, but this is what I'm talking about when I say we should go after Crosby again this offseason, because we need edge rushers that can just win. And right now, the only guy who is winning consistently is DeMarcus Lawrence on the outside. And of course, we got great stuff on the inside, but even those guys, I think, are starting to wear down a little bit, and things are just playing a little, it feels like we're playing things a little too simple. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Everybody have a good rest of your day, and more videos coming soon.